The Dick Weber PBA playoffs are brought to you by Lucas Oil, the world leader in high-performance lubricants and problem-solving additives. By EFX, feel the effects of EFX. By Go RVing. Visit GoRVing.com to watch a free video. Go affordably. Go RVing. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Welcome back to Indianapolis, and our thanks to Jim Doty, the general manager of Royal Penn Leisure Centers and Woodland Bowl right here, one of 4 centers in that chain. They always do a wonderful job when we are here in Indianapolis. Rob Stone, Randy Peterson, back here with you. 2 down, 1 to go, and it's the title match that we've really been kind of looking forward to all day long as Chris Barnes and Jason Belmonte get set to square off, 2 #1 seeds. Your early thoughts on how this one is going to roll out?
Well, it's all about power versus experience. The power of Jason Belmonte versus the experience of Chris Barnes. I went down and watched the players early in practice. It looked like Jason Belmonte had a little bit of an advantage because of that power. He got his ball to face the pocket a lot stronger. His reaction looked better.
Barnes, one of those guys on the tour that really knows how to manipulate those lanes when he finds himself in a hole. All right, time now for today's More of What Matters to You fan question, brought to you by the makers of One A Day. And for some reason, somebody wants to know something about us. It comes from Kenny Ryan of Ocean Township, New Jersey. Guys, what is your favorite part about being an announcer on the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour? Randall?
It's got to be working with you. My favorite thing is that every show is different. You never really know what's going to happen. The last couple of seasons, we've had some of the most dramatic moments in the history of professional bowling, and you and I have been a part of that.
Yeah, I think the point being, you never know when history is going to be made, and we have been blessed to see a lot of history on the PBA Tour. Who knows, maybe more in store here in Indianapolis. We almost had a 300 game last week. That's on my bucket list, oh, by the way. Maybe we'll get one here. We know we're going to get a 3rd finalist for sure. 2 #1 seeds square off when we return to Indianapolis. Chris Barnes versus Jason Belmonte on the backside. They are both #1 seeds in their respective brackets here at the Dick Weber PBA playoffs. Jason Belmonte, the two-handed wonder from Down Under, and former Player of the Year, Chris Barnes. Today, these 2 competitors with global reputations duke it out for the West Conference Championship. Welcome back to Indianapolis. Heading into the finals of the 1969 New Orleans Open, Dick Weber had not won a title in a little over 3 years, the longest winless drought of his career. And Weber broke that streak the hard way, coming all the way from the bottom of the stepladder to win 4 matches. He started it off by beating Butch Gerhart, then proceeded to take down 3 future Hall of Famers, Ski Foremski, Jim Stefanich. And in the title match, he took care of Bill Allen to claim his 18th career win. Speaking of Hall of Famers, Randy Peterson back here with you. Rob Stone, glad you're with us in Indianapolis. Jason Belmonte, your Southwest Region champion. And Chris Barnes advancing from the West Northwest region. Time now for the intros of our 2 finalists.
The 2008 World 10-Pin Bowler of the Year has 1 career PBA Tour title. Belmo, Jason Belmonte.
Third and final conference championship matchup of the day. Randy Weiss and Dick Allen have already moved on to next week's 3-man championship round. Belmo or Barnes will join them. Right of target, right off the bat.
The last shot that I saw Jason Belmonte throw in practice on this left lane, he went straight through the nose, only getting 4. Looks like he's trying something to figure out on that left lane. He chose to start the match so he could finish this conference championship match on the right lane. Bad break there, wrapping the 1 around the 10.
A 13-time champion on the Lumber Liquidators PBA Tour and Triple Crown winner, Chris Barnes.
13 tour titles for the man who's been on the tour for 13 years. Won this year's PBA World Championship in Las Vegas in mid-January, which gave him the Triple Crown.
And as good as this guy is, he should have 30 titles. You ask the players out here who the best player physically is, they'll probably tell you that guy right there. You take a look at his arsenal going with pure physics, which only makes sense in the sport of bowling.
You were always a science geek, weren't you, growing up?
Actually, biology.
That's a science.
Oh, yeah.
We move on. Here's Barnes in the second.
One more.
Messenger drops the 10. A big drop.
Okay, no harm, no foul. Staying with the theme. Shreds the rack, head pin comes across, 7 and 10 both standing. Now it's just the 7.
Barnes strike spare to start off this one. Here's Jason Belmonte. Open frame in the first. Just missed converting the washout.
What a way to start. Washout left lane, right through the heart right lane. 3, 4, 6, 7, 10. When you have that much power going through the head pin, it's usually going to spell disaster.
Back to back opening frames and a 17 after 2 for Belmo.
And the last thing you want to do is give Chris Barnes breathing room and let him get comfortable. So take a look at Jason Belmonte's arsenal. Going with Prodigy and High Road. High Road right lane, Prodigy left lane.
That was a mean strike. There was some anger with that one, and Belmo bounces back, and he'll take a seat, and Chris Barnes step up. And Chris, after seeing Jason drop open frames in his 2 first frames, what does that do to your mentality as you approach the third?
It means he can shoot 257 if he strikes out. But, the scores haven't been super high so far, but I think it still has a real good chance of being 220 or 30 to win this game.
So that's Chris Barnes joining us on PBA Talkback. I'm always amazed at how quick you guys do the math. You guys always know where you are and where your opponents are. Barnes strike spare. Here he is in the third. Two strikes in a row on that right lane.
You see where Chris Barnes is playing just slightly to the right of 4th arrow at the 15-foot mark out to about the 10th board. But right now he's got pocket on both lanes.
Hit!
7 drops late.
Well, this time it's the 7 that goes. Last time on the left lane, it was the 10 that went late. Both times the 7-10 is staring at him.
When you have that back-to-back potential 7-10s, what is that saying about your shot?
Well, it's telling you you're close. Just a minor tweak to get the ball to face up a little bit stronger or a little bit sooner. But right now, quite honestly, Rob, Jason Belmonte hasn't proven that he can hit the pocket more than once in a row.
Belmonte starting off with open frames. and then getting a strike in the third. Down 23. He's on the right lane, which is where he will finish off this match. Back-to-back jacks for Belmo.
Huge break after going back-to-back open frames. And very unusual the way he's attacking this pair. Watch where he's playing on the left lane. Right of second arrow, about as fast as he can throw it with his hand up the back. Here's where he's playing on the right lane, left of fourth arrow. Right now, Jason Belmonte trying to use all his moxie to dial in some type of consistent reaction. Two different bowling balls, two completely different lines.
Just one career Lumber Liquidator PBA Tour title for Jason Belmonte, the native of Australia. 10-pin drops.
Good shot.
That was a nasty messenger.
Yeah, this is a slam dunk messenger right here, Rob. I mean, you want to talk about a fast rip the rack head pin going to the sidewall and coming over and just doing some nasty stuff to the 10-pin. Just coming right back into this match after a disastrous start. Only trails by 3.
Three shots, 3 strikes for Barnes on that right lane. And now we go to the left.
And
that is where he will finish this match.
And the last 2 times on that lane, we almost
saw 7-10s.
We almost saw 7-10 splits.
Almost saw. Left the 7 in the second, left the 10 in the fourth, was able to clean up both of them, but for a brief moment, he was staring 7-10s. No 7-10 there, all 10 in the pit. Little pit party there for Mr. Barnes. His first pair, he has 4. And he has the lead by 13. One of these two will move on to join Randy Weiss and Dick Allen next week in our Dick Weber PBA Playoffs Championship round. Find out when we return to Indy. Rob Stone and Hall of Famer Randy Peterson back with you in Indianapolis for the conclusion of match number 3. Jason Belmonte down 13 pins. Belmo, you started off with back-to-back open frames. Since then, 3 strikes. What has changed?
Well, the second strike I got there was a little fortunate, but yeah, it always takes me a couple of shots to just kind of relax. And you know, when you're playing Chris, you do get a little bit more excited because he's one of the best ever. So I just got to make sure that I stop bowling against him and just bowl my frames.
Belmo, the politician, dropping in a little compliment there as well. As Barnes looks on, you see in the background your bracket. And one of these two guys will be autographing it in a few minutes to mark that they have moved on to the championship round next Sunday. Of the Australian variety.
And there's just some nasty pin action going on. And that's what speed and power will do for you. The most amazing thing to me when I watch the two-handers is how they're able to generate so much ball speed. I know the revolutions are going to be there. Anytime you don't use your thumb, the revolutions are going to be there. But try throwing it with 2 hands at about 21 miles an hour. Not easy.
Yahtzee! 5 in a row!
I got to tell you, this is pretty amazing to watch. A guy that hooks it that much, going that straight and fast on the left lane. He's playing the big hook on the right lane and just throwing BBs right at the 1-3 pocket on the left.
And now he's taken the lead as well.
And he's just throwing a 5-bagger right at Chris Barnes, saying, "Come on, it's time to take off the gloves.
Now Barnes working off a pair, seeking a triple here in the 7th. And finds that triple.
See that ball roll out and stop right in front of the head pin. Very fortunate to not leave the solid 7. Another great shot by Barnes.
Let's fire up the RV and keep it where it is. We'll be right back here next Sunday, Woodland Bowl in Indianapolis for our live coverage of the Lumber Liquidators Dick Weber PBA playoffs. We'll see it 1 Eastern, 1 week from today. You already know Randy Weiss will be there. Dick Allen, 2 guys from South Carolina. Moving on to our championship round, our 3rd and final conference championship match of the day going on right now, and it has suddenly become a back and forth affair between Belmonte and Barnes, 2 #1 seeds duking it out. We begin the 8th. Here's Barnes with a slim 3-pin lead.
Well, I'll tell you, Rob, I don't know what's gotten into Chris Barnes lately, but the last time we saw him at the PBA World Championships, he was flawless. Today, same thing. This guy is bowling and rolling his bowling ball.
This is a great showdown. We were really excited about this matchup coming into the broadcast, and it has lived up to it. Jason Belmonte, remember, started this match with back-to-back open frames. Since then, 5 strikes in a row. Right of target leaves double wood.
Jason, if you're going to throw it there, trust it.
Well, this could spell potentially some huge trouble for Jason Belmonte. He's going to fall farther behind now, and the frames are running out. Needs to convert the 2.8. Chris Barnes is in the 2.20s. Belmonte will be at 2.15 if he converts here.
High conversion rate on TV through the years, as you just saw.
Remember, he chose to finish on that right lane, Rob. The last 3 shots thrown on that lane by Belmo have all been light. This is the big shot right here for the tournament. Biggest shot coming up. 9th frame sets up the 10th. If he strikes here, he has a potential 235. It's just amazing. He can not only hook it, throw it fast, but he can also control what direction his bowling ball rolls in. Much more up the back on that left lane to control the down lane reaction. Watch this. I mean, this is as fast as he can throw it, end over end. Look at the subtle movement right there. On the right lane, it's the exact opposite. He's trying to flip his hand around the side to get the ball to turn the corner. He's set up his 10th frame. He's done his job. Now it's up to Chris Barnes. A strike here puts him in the high 230s.
He's up 15, looking for 5 in a row. Drops the nickel.
Again, just a magnificent shot from Chris Barnes. That puts him in the high 230s. He needs good count and any kind of mark in the 10th frame, and he will shut out Jason Belmonte. First strike here in the 10th, it's over. Watch him snap the 6, snap the 10 out like that. That's when you know that you've got a great touch at the bottom of the swing. Chris Barnes has got it going on.
What a closeout job by Chris Barnes, your Northwest region winner. And well, he was challenged by Jason Belmonte, who put himself in that early hole with those open frames. rally to retake the lead, but Barnes
Hey, Ryan, Troy.
never lost
And,
it, never
what's scheduled
skidded
to be
off
here?
the road.
Belmonte put pressure on him with that 5-bagger. He let Chris know that he was still there. But Chris rose to the occasion and basically bowled perfectly. 260. Could have been 300. Remember, almost back-to-back 710s on the left lane. What a good guy.
Well, the good news for Jason is he can get home.
Yeah, he can get home now.
Get home and see his family, see his beautiful daughter, Mario Rose. It's been a long time on the road for the Australian native. Made a game run here at the Dick Weber PBA playoffs. But it comes to a close
Thanks, guys.
as
Good luck.
fellow
Thanks.
number 1 seed Chris Barnes sends him packing for home. 260, 199. Barnes in
The fun part here.
dominating fashion is able to sign the bracket again to move on to your final 3-man show next Sunday. We'll wrap things up from Indy after this. The Dick Weber PBA playoffs are brought to you by Lumber Liquidators. Go to lumberliquidators.com for a list of our new store openings. By Just for Men Hair Color, live forward. By the makers of Bear Aspirin, expect wonders. And by the USBC and its 2 million members. To find out more about USBC, log on to bowl.com today. Extra Frame is the PBA's video subscription service for the PBA fan who wants more. Extra Frame features live streaming coverage of every PBA Tour event, exclusive player interviews, behind-the-scenes action, product reviews, and archived PBA telecasts. Head on over to PBA.com today and click on the Extra Frame link to sign up. Time now for the Geico Championship recap. Match number 1, Steve Jaros taking on Randy Weiss. Weiss getting a big strike there in the 10th to apply some pressure to Jaros. It whiffs, and Weiss moves on 191, 179. Dick Allen taking on Jack Jurek, 10th frame. Jurek needing a strike, goes through the nose. Door wide open. Dick Allen sees door, slams door. Closed with the 4-bagger, 222, 198. He advances. And then a battle of 1 seeds, and it was all Chris Barnes. Strikes in the 1st, 3rd, and 5th through the conclusion. A 260, 199 victory over Jason Belmonte, and Randy standing by now with Chris Barnes.
Thanks, Rob. And Chris, you know, I know there's no secret to the fact that you've had some issues on television before, but I got to be honest, since the World Championships, your performance there last week and today have been amazing. What's turned around for you?
I think really it started a couple years ago, right before I went back-to-back in Columbus and in Norwich. Mark Baker figured out a couple things I was doing in the middle of my approach, and when I really wanted shots, I was getting forward early, made my swing steep, and then I was going by, and I was, you know, leaving 2 pins, or they'd hook early on me, and for some reason I didn't figure that out. But now I know what my hitch is in the giddy up, and so when I have those shots where I know I'm really trying, I have a key to focus on, and now I'm making the same shots at the end of the games that I'm making at the beginning.
And does that happen when the anxiety level goes up?
Yeah, mostly when the match gets a little more intense. We all know which shots matter. I mean,
Sure.
Anybody who says they don't I know the theory is you throw them all the same, but the reality is you don't. And you don't feel the same in the 1st frame as you do in the 9th frame. So
now going into the finals, you're the guy with all the experience, all the titles. You got a couple of guys, Randy Weiss, that's never been there before. Richie Allen's got a couple of wins, but you're the man. How do you use that to your advantage?
Well, we'll go into the same experiences we've had before. TV's not new to me, but Randy Weiss threw 3 in the 10th to get by his first TV show. So experience doesn't necessarily get you any bonus spins. I'm going to have to go out. I'll have to bowl another big game, probably 240 or 50, the way these guys bowl. And if I do that, then I like my chances.
Describe how much fun this unique format has been for you.
Well, the winners always like the format, so. But it is good. It's not a best of 3. It was 6 games. You had enough time for some mistakes to happen and still survive. You didn't have to win every time, but it rewarded good bowling consistently. And, I mean, that kind of plays into my strengths a little bit. So I'm a fan.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck next week.
So Chris Barnes moves on. You can see him in action next Sunday live right here from Indianapolis, 1 Eastern on ESPN. Former tour roommates Randy Weiss, Dick Allen will be there as well. So the Dick Weber PBA playoffs coming close to a close. It's been 3 weeks worth of coverage. The fourth coming 1 week from today at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Steve Jarris making a game run, winning the East region, but would eventually fall to Randy Weiss. Dick Allen taking care of Jack Jurek today, and Jason Belmonte falling to Chris Barnes. Your 3 finalists are set for next Sunday. For Randy Peterson and our entire crew, I'm Rob Stone. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. We'll see you again next Sunday.